What is cracking, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode 2. Are these episodes? I don't know, we're just going to put them out anyway. So it is currently 5:23 a.m. and we've had an early start this morning, so I was up at 4 o'clock. I could have woke up at 5:45 to train at 6, but when there's stuff to be done, that requires a little bit of preparation in terms of structuring the day around what needs to get done. So the first thing that needs to get done when you're in this game of physique development is making sure that your pre-workout and your post-workout nutrition is on point. So by getting up at 4 o'clock, by getting my supplementation in, by getting a litre of water in, that's enabled me to digest some food and use that now as fuel on the fire for this pull session that I'm going to run you through. We're meeting up with Thom Martinson, long-term friend and a client of 43 weeks. Thom has just finished his cut. He did a smashing job of it. We've had ups, we've had downs throughout that period, but overall the pie chart of life has been filled with positives, and those positives have resulted in Thom getting nice and lean and really priming himself now for an amazing improvement phase. So, you know, like I say to everybody, improvement phases are where physiques are born, not necessarily in a deficit. So Thom's finished his cut now. We've slowly started to bring nutrition back up. It's a really challenging time post-cut because ghrelin, the hunger hormone, the monster that lives inside your belly and tells you to eat everything under the sun, will be booting off because we are super responsive to nutrition at this point, and it's really fucking easy to become fat in this phase as well. You know, the 6 weeks post-cut is probably the most challenging time, worse than being in the depths of a cut, I would say. But if you can manage it effectively, follow the script that's in front of you, then you can line yourself up for a very, very productive improvement phase. And the goal of the improvement phase is to be in it for as long as humanly possible without accruing too much body fat. And you can only do that if you don't full send it with food and booze and just being a bit of a knob when it comes to nutrition. So we're dialing things up slowly but steadily, bringing nutrition back up to a good spot where we can utilize it. Those delicious micro and macronutrients fuel our training performance and blow up as a result of that. So that's what we're going to be doing over the coming weeks with Thom. But yeah, Thom's transformation has been wild because, you know, both Thom and I go back a long time. The things that we share in common, or used to share in common, were getting fucking spannered on a weekend and full sending it. But times have changed. Oh, times have changed, and all for the positive though. You know, the mental clarity, as I've mentioned previously, that comes from tuning in the things that are important in life really pay dividends further down the line for just how we feel cognitively more broadly. And yeah, Thom can testify to that. So we're in for pull. It's a longer session than normal. Normally it's around about an hour and a half, something like that, because there's a lot of unilateral work that goes on, so single arm work. But hopefully we'll be in and out by 7:15 now. Back home, quick shower, post-workout cereal, and then get into the rest of the day, which is looking like a pretty busy one. So let's get after it. Let's dive into the session. Let's go.
I thought Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Making it bounce. Making it bounce, lean and drop, making it bounce. Making it bounce. Making it bounce, lean and drop, making it bounce. Making it bounce. Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Thought about it. I thought about it, thought about it. Making it bounce. Making it bounce, lean and drop, making it bounce.
And that's a wrap on the pull session. An hour and 30 minutes, done and dusted. Good to catch up with Thom as always. Train with Thom most days. And yeah, really, it's just a case of shifting the mindset now away from seeing that skill weight come down to progressively seeing strength go up in the gym and acquiring new skills, because there's always levels to the game when it comes to skill acquisition in the gym itself. I think the biggest improvements that anybody can make are not necessarily to load progression, but actually to, you know, the development of thinking about form and tempo and really execution. You know, execution is key to being in the set that you're performing. Instead of just whipping right around from point A to point B, really think about the intended muscle group that we are working out and become the muscle that you are training. Connect the mind to the body and the rest will look after itself. But too often is the case that we just see people chasing load progression over accuracy to the actual form itself. So that's what we're building up with Thom at the moment. Everything is going really, really well. His scale weight is coming up nicely and his training performance is in the best spot that it's been in. So it's time to slap on a bunch of muscle tissue. We're en route back home now. It's 7:10 in the morning and yeah, I'm gonna jump in the shower as soon as I get back. Have my post-workout cereal around about 8 o'clock. Drop the dog to the groomers at 9 o'clock and then I'm straight into an exam board at 9:30. So it's gonna be a busy one. A couple of meetings this afternoon, a couple of updated plans to make for the squad. Loads and loads of clients are absolutely flying at the moment. It's really amazing to see. And yeah, for anybody who says that they don't have time to train, there is always ways to find time to train. Whether that's getting your sleep hygiene in a good spot, whether that's waking up early, it all comes down to routine. If you haven't got a routine in place, then you ain't gonna make progress. And the thing that Thom has done really, really well over the last 40 odd weeks is he's fucking consistent. He hasn't missed a session. He's always there. normally before me in the morning, and that's exactly what you want from a training partner, but that's exactly what you want for somebody who's trying to develop, you know, a new mindset and a new way of operating in life. So it's amazing what can be achieved when you sort out the structure around your routine. That is the key foundation, the fundamental pillar that is going to create a really solid mindset and a really solid physique as well. So if you haven't got your routine dialed in at the moment, you know what to do. Sort it out. So that's the morning work block boxed off, done and dusted. The dog actually didn't need to go for a groom today. I put that down in the old diary for the wrong date, so managed to scrape back about 15 minutes there. And might not seem like a lot, but actually 15 minutes when you work into a very busy, tight schedule, juggling lots of things, makes all the difference. So that was nice. Just finished an exam board with work, so all of the students are wrapped up for the academic year now. Some amazing achievements been made on that front, and yeah, en route into work now to meet up with a few students, because we're off to the degree show in London next week. So booked a hotel in Southwark, and going to be training out of Muscleworks in London the whole time, and I'll be documenting that process as well, because you know, you don't have to be completely out of routine when you're out of your day-to-day. You can still make things work from a nutrition perspective, you can still make things work from a training perspective if you've got your structures in place. And I mentioned time blocking there. That's something that I started to implement a good few years ago now, and it was a fucking game changer in terms of managing my productivity and just getting everything done, because you know, the demand for time can sometimes be really pushed, but when you implement time blocking, everything's got a place in your day, whether it's responding to emails, whether it's attending meetings, whether it's doing tutorials with students, whether it's getting in contact with my clients. Everything gets done because there's an allocated space for it. So for anybody who doesn't already implement that, and I know this isn't perhaps necessary for people who work in different sorts of roles, whether, you know, manual labourers or whatever, then this obviously isn't applicable to you guys. But for anybody who's working within kind of an office environment or managing people, then I would highly recommend it, because it just gives you, again, mental clarity. The issue that I used to find is that I'd be responding to stuff all the time, and if you respond to stuff all the time, then that leaves very little space for yourself, because if I don't have space for myself, then I'm not going to bring the best of myself for those people around me. And that's what I get paid for, both in my professional role as an academic and as a coach to the clients who are in the squad. So I want to bring the best version of myself to the table, and I can only do that if I'm not feeling exacerbated. So we're going to wrap it up here. Solid morning. Couple of meetings this afternoon. We'll dive into legs tomorrow, so training again with Tom, but also being joined by 2 other clients tomorrow morning, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Full send on legs. The legs have come up loads over the last 12 months, and I've really been chasing progressions in terms of load, but also really thinking about form and execution, as I've mentioned with the pole session overview in this YouTube. So join in tomorrow, or whenever I post it. Who knows if I'll have time. I'll have to put it into the old time schedule, time blocking, let me tell you. Anyway, have a good day, people. Peace out. I'll catch you down the road.